Hey kids, Robin Robbins here, founder of TechnologyMarketingToolkit.com, where we specialize in working with IT service companies to get more and better quality clients through strategic marketing. And today I've got a really important video blog for you. And this was actually prompted by me having a conversation with a client, which is a very common conversation I have all the time, which is, Robin, I'm using your marketing or I'm doing some kind of prospecting and I'm not getting any traction. I'm not getting any leads. So what's going on or what's going wrong? And in this particular case, this client was trying to break into a particular industry, and that industry happened to be small medical practices. And I got a lot of clients who want to do this. So he was targeting medical practices because he had 3 clients who were already medical practices, loved working with them, and wanted to get more. So it's great. Really clear focus on who we want to get. We want to go and sell managed services, managed security, backup, HIPAA, compliance, the gamut. So I started asking him some questions about his customers to try and figure out, well, what is the exact offer or appeal that we need to go in with? And within like the first couple questions, I stumped him. And this is what prompted this video blog. You see, the problem with most people when they're trying to go out and do marketing and prospecting and get more customers is they don't know their customer. So in this blog, I'm going to give you 12 really powerful questions you should know the answer to regarding your clients or about your clients. And right below this video, you're going to see this little worksheet that I have you download. So you might want to go grab it, print it out, and download. Maybe pause the video and go get this first, because I'm going to go through these questions real quick. Now, I know a lot of you that are watching this are clients of mine, Toolkit members, Managed Services, Blueprint Producers Club, Apprentice Club, and so forth. These are a subset of the questions that I've already given you of what you need to know about your target market. And I'm going to submit to you guys that if you can't answer these questions, and there's only 12, the actual document I have has a lot more that you technically should know about your customers before you go out and try and market and sell to them. But these are 12 to kind of get a quick assessment as to whether or not you really know your target market. And again, if you don't know your customers, if you can't answer these questions, you're going to have a hell of a hard time prospecting and marketing to them, because you're just, how can you not know the answer to these questions? So let me run down them really, really quick. First of all, who is your most likely buyer? Okay, now this is the key word. That's why buyer is in caps, you'll see here, and it's bold, and it's because I don't want you just to think who is all the potential suspects in your area. Most people are making the mistake of trying to appeal to everybody in their marketing. So they'll say, well, our client is anyone with 10 to 200 computers that's in the Nashville area. Well, that's not a target market, because for so many reasons. Number one, a CEO of a 10-person company has different needs, wants, desires, problems, challenges, budget, you name it, than somebody who's got 100 people working for them. Someone who's got 100 or 150 might even have an IT department that you've got to work with, okay? So you got to know who is your most likely buyer and get an avatar, get a profile of that person. Again, most companies, most of my clients that come to me who are looking for marketing help, when I ask them this question, they can't tell me. So that's number one. You got to know who the most likely buyer is. Number two, what is the current market size available to you for you to sell? So again, going back to medical practices, okay, great. So we're going after medical practices in whatever the city was, because this is a question I get from everybody. It's not just this one guy. And he didn't know. He's like, I don't know. I've never looked. Well, how can we say this is a chosen target market if you don't even know how many potential buyers there are in that marketplace? Plus, is the market growing or is it shrinking? And why? You certainly don't want to sit upon a shrinking market. Maybe there's a trend in your area for medical practices where they're joining big hospitals and they're getting their IT from that. Well, that might not be where you want to build your business on, unless you're going to somehow then incorporate the hospitals and go after those kinds of solutions. But, again, it's really important that you know the answer to that question. Number 3, what's the demographic and psychographic profile of your ideal clients? Now, one of the things that I do when we get a new client, if you're a client, I've done this, is I try and get you to fill in a survey. And the survey asks questions like, what's the single biggest challenge you're dealing with in your business? What was the most compelling thing that we offered that caused you to say yes? we say, there's a question on there. If there's 3 questions you could ask Robin, any questions whatsoever, what would they be? That gives me so much information about my buyers, about people who've bought. It's an onboarding survey that I ask, and you can do this too, by the way. Just because you're in IT doesn't mean you can't do this. Is have that onboarding where you're asking, again, let's clarify the problems that you were dealing with. Let's clarify why did you go with us? Why did you choose our company? And help me understand and clarify that, because it's going to help you in your marketing. If you don't know why people are even buying from you, if you're not asking them and having that conversation, again, marketing's going to be really tough. And the psychographic makeup is really key. And I'll give you like an insight to my clients so you can understand how this works. So first of all, demographic information. Like if I was talking demographic information, the demographics of my typical client, they're selling outsourced IT services. They're usually a managed service provider. Not always. I mean, we've got clients that sell software and are pure cloud play and Office 365 and so forth. But for the most part, they're selling managed services, okay? So that's my avatar. They're typically somewhere between 30 years old, 50 years old. They're typically married with a family. That's just the demographics, okay? Here's the psychographics, and psychographics are more important. My type of client, my best client, has an achiever mindset. And what I mean by that is they're very entrepreneurial. And that, by the way, that doesn't matter if they're only doing $150,000 a year or they're doing $20,000 a year. The mindset is the same. The mindset is they always want to improve, they want to learn, they want to grow, they want to get better. Okay? Not everybody has that same mindset. Now, obviously, the larger companies that I engage with, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, they all have that mindset. That's how they got to be where they are. But the vast majority of the channel are small companies. They're under $1 million. So the ones who become my best customers, I don't care where you are, who you are, color of your skin, your religion, whether male or female, none of that. What really matters is, do you have that achiever mindset? And that psychographic profile helps me, because if you look at my marketing, I'm always talking to the achiever. Do you want to get better? Do you want to grow more? Do you want to get better clients? That's different. I could also do marketing that's, hey, are you struggling and broke and sick and tired of not being able to pay your mortgage, or you're living in your mama's basement and you want to get out? I can give you marketing that's going to help you do that. You can see I'm selling the same product, but how I position it matters, and how I position it's going to attract the right buyer, not the guy living in mama's basement. Okay, so the psychographic profile is very important. Things like, what memberships do they belong to? Even their political views. All those things help you when you're talking to prospects to weave that into your communications and your messaging so that you attract the right people. What are their beliefs and biases about companies like yours? I mean, as we know, what they think about IT companies. Well, you're a bunch of geeks. You're going to speak geek speak. I don't know what the hell you're doing, right? IT is an expense. It's not going to help me improve my business. So all of those things are objections that you need to overcome in your marketing process, and we can't dive into it right now. Actually, on the road show and in the toolkit and the blueprint, we get into that far greater detail. But you got to know what those beliefs and biases are. You can't just ignore them. You got to actually address them. Number 5, when a prospect initially starts to buy what you sell, what are the top 3 to 5 events, problems, situations, changes that trigger them to start looking? So we know that for the majority, not everybody, and your situation might be different, but for the majority, if you look at the clients who came on for you, the new people that came on, typically what we're going to see is that they're facing a server refresh or some big major change that needs to happen, or the problems are escalating to a point where they can't ignore it, which usually is because they have old equipment and they need a refresh. So it follows that server refresh, and we know the challenges are typically, for some of my clients, let's say the best client is someone who's already outsourcing their support, but they're not happy with it. So that situation is what we talk to in the marketing. And I've literally seen this message put on a website transform not only the conversion of that site, but also the quality of customers. So something like a headline, have you outgrown your current IT company? Are they, not returning calls, not responsive, dropping balls, not doing what they're supposed to do? Well, that message resonates. And the reason we have that message is because we know that's the situation our most likely buyer is going to be in when they start looking for IT services and support. So that's why you need to know the answer to that question. What are the challenges? What are the problems? What are the symptoms? So we can advertise that or use that in our advertising to attract those buyers to us. Number 6, what are the top 3 to 5 most important factors or criteria they look for when buying what you're selling? Okay, now at the roadshow, and yes, this is a plug for the roadshow. You need to go to the roadshow, itmarketingroadshow.com. But at the roadshow, in the advanced sales training, the 5 big breakthroughs I go through, one of the questions you need to ask a prospect is, what's most important to you when outsourcing your IT services and support? What's most important to you? What else is important? What else is important? And keep asking until they run out. Most salespeople never ask that. Look, I've been sold to by salespeople, and whether I'm buying a car, building a house, hiring an employee, here's the thing. None of the people who are selling what they're selling ever ask me, hey, what's most important to you? I know you're going to be buying this new house, or you're going to be choosing a builder, you're going to be buying a car, you're going to be putting a new roof on your house. What's most important to you with the company that you deal with? Ask that question, because you need to know that typically, because again, you use that in your marketing and your sales. You don't want to talk about things your clients don't care about, which is what a lot of you do. You got the laundry list of all the stuff you do. It's just a bullet list of, hey, we do backup and security and managed services and hosting and Office 365 and network upgrade. I mean, that's like, that's like a restaurant like listing. We use tomatoes and chicken and beef. I mean, like, who cares? They don't care. What they want to know is how you're going to solve my problems. And if you don't know what the 3 to 5 common most important things that they're looking for, you can't use that in your marketing and your sales process, and you're going to struggle. Number 7, what's the single biggest benefit you deliver to them as perceived by your client? What are they really buying? Everybody wants, as Nito Cobain says, the product of your product. You don't buy the toolkit because you want a bunch of stuff to learn. You buy the toolkit because you think and believe, and it will give you a pathway, a plan, a system, a process you can trust that you can execute on. That's going to get you more clients and better quality clients. That's what you want. You don't want a toolkit. In fact, here's a little piece of information that you might be surprised. It doesn't surprise me. When most people buy my toolkit, they don't even know what they just bought. It doesn't matter. You know what matters? They believe me and they trust me that I'm going to give them a process. I'm going to coach them and guide them to getting the results they want. And that's what's really important. When you're selling IT services, you need to sit down and define what is really the end result. If I hire you, if I'm your prospect, I'm looking at you, I'm saying, hey, I'm going to hire you. I'm going to sign on the dotted line. What results am I going to see? What's the benefit of hiring you? And you need to be able to articulate that and not just say, hey, well, your computers are going to work better. I mean, because everyone expects that, okay? What are the business results you can deliver? And the more compelling that answer is, the easier it is for you to get appointments. Also, what trends are going on in their industry? I mean, like this client with medical, HIPAA, obviously, regulations. Those are all ways of, we can use that for articles, blog posts. We can use that in webinar, seminar topics. We can offer a free consultation that reveals how they can overcome those challenges. Number 9, what are the 3 to 5 events that they attend, or websites they visit, or publications they subscribe to? You need to be a study of your target market. So find out from your customers, what events do you go to? What websites do you read? What magazines do you read? And you need to read those magazines too and understand it. So when I first started in this industry, technology companies weren't foreign to me. I had worked with a lot of other IT companies, but I started attending every single industry event that I could. And all of them, there was not one in Nashville, all of them I had to get on a plane and go visit with those prospects, those clients, talk to the vendors. You go to trade shows, it's awesome. You sit in on the sessions, and you can tell which sessions are most popular by how many butts are in the seat. And you listen to what's going on, you hear the questions being asked, you talk to people at lunch, you talk to the vendors and the sponsors in the hallway. There's so much that can be learned, and you got to know what blogs, websites, events they go to, and there's nothing that can replace that. Those conversations you're having with your prospects. Number 10, what are the 10 most critical applications they use, and what's the single biggest problem or frustration they have with those applications? We all know that the business app, every industry has 2 or 3 critical applications they depend on to run their business. What are they? Do you even know? Number 1. And number 2, what are the problems they have around that? Because if you can solve those problems, even if it's not in your wheelhouse of services you offer now. If you can figure out how to solve those problems, you're going to have a lot more appointments. You're going to have a lot more opportunities to sell. What KPIs do they pay most attention to? Key performance indicators. So is it sales? Is it recurring revenue? Is it patients in the door? Is it days to getting paid? There's all kinds of KPIs that various different industries pay attention to. You need to know what they are for your customers, because your IT services should help fuel and facilitate and improve the KPIs that they're trying to achieve in their business. All right, so really important. Number 12, what's the fastest and easiest inroad, whether it's a product or service, for you to gain access? Now, I figured this out a long time ago. I mean, our easiest inroad is to give a free consultation, a webinar, or some kind of educational event. That's my easiest inroad. And from there, selling the toolkit, because that's my entry product. And that's from there, we have an ascension ladder where we continually upgrade and sell clients on various different services we have. So think about this strategically, and it's worthwhile to sit down and figure this out. What is the product or service that would give you the easiest inroad into your chosen target market? It might not be managed services. See, that's what a lot of you are trying to win that 3-year all-in, all-you-can-eat managed services contract. It's a huge commitment. Maybe test doing one small piece of that. Maybe you test just doing managed security or backup or some other piece of the business, and you get your toe in the door that way very strategically, and then you grow that account. When I was in the advertising business, we did the same thing. We didn't go in and say, hey, give us all of your advertising. You know, we want all of your advertising business. We want to do all the design, the copywriting, the list buy, the sending. No, we didn't do it. We said, here's all I want you to do. Don't give me everything. I haven't earned that trust yet. Give me one project. Just give me one small project. Let me work with you on that. And that's a lot easier to get than going for the whole kit and caboodle. Now, obviously if someone's going to, is looking for someone to manage their network, take it. But I'm talking about in your marketing and prospecting, sometimes you need to peel back the onion a bit and have a little nibble, a little sample of something that will get you in the door. What is that for you? And what can you offer to your specific niche or target market that's going to get you in the door? So that's it, kids. Other than I'm going to give you a shameless plug to come to the road show. This is really, really key for you guys to attend, especially if you're a client. Now, if you're not a client, I just gave you a ton of meat right here, okay? Now, if you are a client, we're going to get into this in more depth at the road show. We're going to talk about how do you do a sales presentation so that you can figure out what's most important to your clients. Why are they buying? Some of the questions that we talked here, because a lot of this research, how do you get it done? You get it done by simply the stuff you're doing every day, but just paying attention a little bit more. So we've got, at the time I'm shooting this, we only got a couple more left. This is the last time I'm doing it. Next year we're not doing this road show again, so it's time to get there. It's free. Did I say it was free? It's free. It's free. So don't give me any of your BS excuses. You can't make it, okay? Get to a roadshow 2 days with me. You're gonna get greater clarification. You're gonna get re-inspired, reinvigorated to do marketing, because if you're not doing anything, you need to be doing something, all right? It's very, very powerful, and I'm giving you a full 12-month marketing plan for your business. So you take back, and every week I'm going to tell you what to do, how to do it, with the links, with the campaigns in it, everything. I mean, look, I can't make it any easier. I mean, other than to go to your office and do it for you, which I'm not going to do because I ain't your mama, okay? So get to the roadshow, itmarketingroadshow.com. Join me there, and I look forward to seeing you.